Okay, let's take a look at the advanced contouring section. So I have some different footage here. This is red camera footage, or demo footage. So I'll turn on the basic effect, and there is the basic effect. Let's increase the frequency just a little bit. We'll make sure we're at the default, and we'll increase the frequency a little bit. And we will go down to advanced contouring. First thing to do is enable it. And then see this scale offset? So as we turn this up, the actual levels of the source material start to influence what's going on with how the dots are applied. And there's, as you see, there's a few different parameters here. One of the ones you'll want to look at the most is this softness. It basically pre-blurs the image, so you get, if you push this harder, it's sort of, it doesn't hit the contours quite as hard. As you cramp this down, you see what happens. It starts to pick up very small, even noise to influence the image. And this may be what you're looking to do, or you may want something smoother like this. And if you click this affects how the scale is calculated. And it's just a different way of calculating how to affect the material. Let's turn this off. And now let's look at this other one that's about displacement instead of scale. So it does, it also affects the way that the dots are screened on there, or whatever pattern you're choosing is screened on there. And it also respects this softness. So if you soften it up, the pattern is softer. And this displacement angle basically goes from 0 to 180. And it's hard to describe what it does, but if you look at the eyes, for instance, they sort of swirl a little bit more. All of the borders, it sort of swirls a little more when you have it at a high number. And whoops, wrong button. And here, when you have it close to 0, it sort of compresses as opposed to swirls. So more swirled and more compressing. And you can hit it harder or softer. And all of these things interact in very interesting ways. Here, let's change to this piece of content over here. Let's turn this. Let's just get a look at it. What did I? Oh, I didn't select there. So this is what the source material looks like. As you can see, there's high contrast and there's a lot of detail in his shirt. So that's giving us a lot to work with here. Let's turn it on. And maybe we should start from our default. So here's our default again. And let's go back down to our advanced contouring. Let's turn it on and hit it. See, because we have all this contouring, it does some interesting things. Let's see what happens if we increase the softness. It sort of goes with the contours of what's in the frame here. And you can change these scales. You can do this other method. You can hit the displacement and make it more swirly. And as you can see, it's a pretty interesting effect on its own. But when we start to do things like change the frequency, it starts to look very interesting. And now let's add some of this noise displacement. You can see it's a pretty unusual effect. And let's change the scale of the noise. You can get some very unusual effects here. You can always blend it with the source. Let's go back to her. What happened here? All right, so we'll back with her. Let's turn on the Monochrome Halftone and let's go to one of these presets over here called Freaky Face, which is using those same sorts of ideas. It's got a low scale and it's got lots of stuff going on over here. You can get some very unusual effects. Okay, well, I hope you have fun with this OFX. It was certainly a lot of fun to make and quite an adventure, and I hope you enjoy it as well. Thanks. Bye-bye.